Hi, I'm going to show you one of the methods we make quick breads with. It's called the biscuit method, and we're going to make biscuits with it. And we're so lucky today. We have a guest appearance by Dr. Toss, who's going to help me to make biscuits today. So first thing is you get a bowl, and in this recipe we have 11.5 ounces of all-purpose flour. And then I'm going to add my baking powder. Why, thank you. And my salt. Okay. And mix that around a little bit. And then we're going to cut our butter into the flour. So our 6 ounces, that one, of cold butter. And you can do this with a pastry cutter, but it's just so much easier with your fingers. And so we're going to make flaky biscuits today. And so we want to cut the butter, break it up into the flour until it's like pea, almond shaped pieces. What do you think?
Doing quite well.
Thank you. One of the mistakes we make when we do biscuits is we cut the butter up and then put it in the flour as opposed to breaking up in the flour, or we break it up so much that the actual flour looks like pea-sized pieces of dough. And neither of these are good ways to make biscuits. And as the name suggests, this is a quick bread, so it shouldn't take very long to do.
Chef, you make this look so easy.
Well, thank you. But it really is that easy. This is not complicated to do. So you can see the butter's almost broken up enough, a couple of big pieces. So you see, it still looks like flour, but it's just got some chunks of butter in it. All right, and now may I have the milk and my spatula. Thank you. And you just mix this until it just starts to form a dough. It's going to look kind of dry. That's normal. And the way we finish it is we're going to turn it out onto the table and mix it until it starts to come together. Thank you. And so now we start to knead the dough, incorporating the rest of the flour in, creating the layers of flake in the biscuit. So those chunks of butter are super important because as they melt in the oven, they're going to separate the flour layers, making your flaky biscuits. So, may I have the other flour?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to put a little more flour on the table, just a little. And then rolling pin. Thank you. Flour on the rolling pin. And I roll the dough out. And you can see the bits of the butter in it, which is ideal. And then you make a turn. And I just do that 3 or 4 times, and that helps to create the layers. And now we're ready to roll out and cut our biscuits. So that was pretty fast, right? It shouldn't take a long time. If you're taking too long, you're probably overworking the dough. And with this one, especially, if you work the dough too much, you get tough biscuits.
Which we don't want.
We don't want tough
Absolutely
biscuits.
not.
That would be just a crime.
Flaky.
Flaky light is
Exactly.
the aim. So biscuit dough will double in size. So this is the same method we used to make scones, cheddar herb biscuits, sweet biscuits. You can use it to make cinnamon rolls. So remember that it doubles in size. So if you roll it too thin, you get very thin biscuits and you get crackers. And then the other thing about this is you want to cut them out as close to the edge and as close together so you have the least amount of waste. So I dip it in a little flour.
It's so quiet.
It's not like when the class is in here, huh?
No.
And so these, you want to put them on the baking pan so that if you want them a little crisp around the edges, you want a little space in between them. And if you like them softer, you can have them almost touching or touching. And then this part, instead of reworking it all, you can kind of push it together. It does tend to give you the biscuits won't be as pretty, but as long as you don't re-knead it too much, they still come out pretty nice. But generally speaking, you don't want to overwork the dough. You could also use the scraps to make cobbler or chicken pot pie, or
Perfect for the winter.
perfect for the winter. And then these won't be pretty at all, but I'll eat them, so who cares?
How about me?
Oh, well, you have, you should have a pretty
Absolutely.
biscuit. You should have a pretty
No,
biscuit.
that's okay.
And from here, what we do is I brush the top with a little bit of milk. Oh, thank you. May I have that cup?
Sure.
Thank you. Just to help them brown a little bit before when they're in the oven. If you don't brush the tops with anything, they tend to be very pale. And we want nice golden biscuits, right?
Now we need some gravy.
Or butter and
we'll
honey.
We'll wait for lab.
Ooh, something to look forward to.
Great breakfast.
And we're ready to go in the oven, 450 for 15, 20 minutes. And we're ready. Dr. Toss had to leave us, but biscuits are ready. And as you can see, they're nice and golden. You can see the nice flakes forming. And brush them with some melted butter. And they're ready to eat.